Hi everyone, just want to pop in real quick for another video about Restaurant Week of this year. So if some of you may have not known already, I live in New York right now and I just kind of came out of my traversing the Manhattan to discover the dining scene area where I'm just just stack up my entire 4 weeks of the run of the restaurant week with just reservations and just going through and exploring what New York has to offer in terms of food. And so today I'm going to include the 10 best dining experiences throughout the course of the restaurant week in random order. First up on our top 10 list is Baar Baar. This Nalita Indian restaurant is definitely a mixture of high-class culinary experience with a more relaxed vibes. It's definitely a place to take a special someone out on a date. There's a bar separate from the dining area with a selection of cocktails and liquor for a more casual after-hours experience. For the first dish of the night, I had the tuna bells tostada. This is a very flavorful salad served on top of toasted tortilla. Toppings included a togarashi, avocado, radish, and cilantro. It is absolutely crunchy and delicious. For the main course, I had the branzini patori. I have always been a fan of branzino dishes, and this is a great combination of seafood and spices. You have the branzini cooked in banana leaf, leaving you a very mild, sweet, and earthy palate to complement the more oceanic flavor of the branzini bring. For dessert, we have mango chili sorbet. This very delicious mango sorbet was actually surprisingly less rich than I would have expected. It perfectly countered the more flavorful patori earlier, and so is the perfect dish to conclude on. Second place on our top 10 places is Junoon. This is located in the Flatiron district. This restaurant is definitely catered for important business meetings while also maintaining a very homey vibe for family outings. You have a very gorgeous bar set in the middle of the dining area and separately a very well thought out homey food cart to offset a somewhat more formal dining aesthetics. The best thing about this restaurant, in my opinion, is actually the staff. They are super nice. From the general manager to my waiter, everything was amazing. Went here for lunch during restaurant week, and I would definitely visit again to explore their dinner menus. As I just mentioned, one of the highlights of this restaurant is actually its extraordinary service, and this is actually reflected on their complimentary dishes offerings. So to start off my lunch, I had the lasuni gobi. This is actually a compliment from the chef. It is a very flavorful, crispy cauliflower dunked in tomato garlic sauce. I came from Vietnam, and most of our street food culture is always covered in fried garlic flakes, so this gave me an amazing throwback to that. To start off lunch today, I had the ghost chili merc tikka. I went for a more traditional option for my starter, the tandoor chicken. So here we have the tandoor chicken served with smoked carrot, coconut puree, alongside carrot salad. The chicken was cooked just right, and the fresh, creamy, fruity, aromatic puree definitely complements the more smoky undertones that the chicken gives. And then I have another complimentary dish, that is the Indian lentil soup. This vegetarian soup was again just cooked just right, boosting a rich flavor profile from all of its spices. Now onto the centerpiece of our lunch outing, the shrimp moele served with naan and basmati rice. This absolutely stunning gem is served with coconut milk, turmeric, mustard seed, heirloom tomatoes, and hearts of palm. Again, super flavorful without being overpowering. You get a very buttery, fresh shrimp with a hint of oceanic salt paired with a smoother sauce defined by a variety of spices and veggies. The hot and fragrant basmati rice just complements this main perfectly. And finally, for dessert, the kofi is a very special selection of frozen treats. From left to right, we have mango, rose petal, ube malai, and saffron cardamom. My favorite is definitely either the mango or the rose petal, but they are all very flavorful and aesthetic in their own unique ways. Third stop, we have Fulton Restaurant by JG. Located in Seaport, this restaurant boasts a scenic view of the East River. The Fulton is a waterfront cinematic setup by renowned French chef Jean Drie. Is then boosted with a breathtaking interior design spanning 2 full floors. The menu has a wide variety of well thought out dishes, wild-caught seafood, and cocktails. The restaurants also have a full raw bar on the second floor in the middle of the dining area, which I think was very interesting, where fresh seafood is on display. It's definitely a very nice touch, and they definitely catered for more important business meetings while also maintaining that very homey flavor for family outings. There is nothing short of breathtaking here. Chef John G has restaurants all over the world. My favorite up until this point being the John G in the Waldorf Astoria, Beverly Hills. I always get the chef's tasting menu to experience everything the restaurant has to offer. Needless to say, my expectations for the Fulton was super high and I was definitely amazed by the experience. I went to the Fulton at sunset, so the view is just all the more breathtaking during this golden hour. To start up the special evening, I got myself a cocktail to unwind. The Yuzu 75 is a gin cocktail with Cremant de Bourgogne. I'm pretty sure I just butchered that pronunciation, so my sincere apologies. The Dorothy Parker gin and Yuzu. It's a lighter cocktail as I anticipated seafood dishes later during dinner, so the strong hints of lemon and lime from the cocktail was definitely a great choice to complement the more seafoody palette that we're gonna have later. For starter, I have the Petit Seafood Plateau. What's a waterfront experience without a selection of raw, fresh food, am I right? So this simple dish is amazingly fresh. We have oysters, shrimp cocktail, and a selection of chef sashimi served over a bath of ice with a variety of sauces. I have nothing else to say outside that the dish was just very fresh and amazing. On to the main course of this evening, we have the ume sesame crusted salmon served over sunjokes and shellfish potage. This is a perfect combination of flavors. You got a medium soup-like sauce with fresh veggies and mushroom to accompany a richer, more creamy, rare salmon that melts as you taste it, leaving a more silky and buttery sensation. For dessert, I had the ice cream and sorbet. I will have a light champagne and tamarind sorbet here, so nothing else to add here. It's just a very light and a perfect end to the evening. Fourth on our list, we have Lebanese restaurant Ilili. This is another restaurant located in Flatiron. Ilili is definitely a more refined Mediterranean dining experience from lunch meetings or just a place to go hang out with your friends after a long day. I was recommended this place by some of my friends before creating my restaurant week list, so I really wanted to try. The restaurant has 2 main rooms. You have the lounge bar area for more of a casual hangout, and then you have the main dining room with a very high ceiling. The wooden decor here is very unique, and on the menu you can find a variety of traditional Lebanese dishes, which rich flavor profiles informed by both new approaches and historical recipes. I went here for a lighter lunch prefix experience. For starter, we have falafel, a Middle Eastern deep fried ball dish. The falafel I had was fried chickpea and fava bean crochet. They have a very rich and grainy taste with hints of cumin and parsley, which was perfectly paired with the creamy sour cream. I really wanted to try out something vegetarian, so for my second starter, I had the fattoush. This is a Lebanese garden salad with a light sumac lemon vinaigrette dressing served with toasted pita. The fattoush was very refreshing and bright, which was definitely a great choice. For my main course, I had the salmon a la plancha served with butternut squash puree with hazelnut and pomegranate brown butter. I know that was a lot of description, and the dish definitely marries the flavors very well. A la plancha essentially means the salmon was grilled on a metal plate, resulting in a very rich and crispy screen atop the salmon. Fifth on our list, we have Spanish Diner. I wanted to have a more casual hangout among more posh dining experiences, and so what better cuisine to try out than Spanish? The setup is definitely reminiscent of a food hall kind of setup, so this is definitely right up my alley. For starters, we had the El Gazpacho y su liturgia. This is a Spanish cold puree tomato soup with olive oil, and it originates from the Andalusia region of Spain. The dish comes with cucumbers, onions as toppings on the side. It's very unique, unlike anything I've eaten before. It's like liquid soup. It's very tomatoey, yet also very chilled and refreshing. For the main course, we had the arroz a la cubana. I actually did not know what to expect going into this dish. The Cuban-style dish features fried eggs, sausage, and tomato sauce served over white rice. For dessert, we have the flan de mama marisc con nata. Yeah, flans is actually one of my favorite desserts back in Vietnam. It's just a very popular dessert that you can find at almost all corner shops. And so when I see anything that resembles a caramel flan, I'd immediately order. For this next restaurant, we are going to explore Korean cuisine. Located in K-Town, Manhattan, Hangawi is a low-key, upscale vegan restaurant with a creative selection of modern Korean gourmet dishes. Although located in perhaps one of the business neighborhood in Manhattan, the ambience here is very tranquil, perfect for a friends get-together. The decor here is also super rustic, giving a very unique and inspiring atmosphere. I went to Hangawi for a late night dinner experience, and again the ambience is very tranquil and inspiring, and it was absolutely amazing. To start with, we have a mini veggies hot pot served with mung bean pancakes, the steamboat. The mini hot pot is a very light and herbal soup with fresh ingredients. It's just a tad spicy and flavorful. The pancakes are super delicious and fluffy, sweet and nutty from the mung bean. For the main course, we have the bulgogi. As Hangawi is a vegan restaurant, for the main course, it is a plant-based bulgogi with shiitake mushrooms. The bulgogi is tofu-based and so very unique in taste. It's sweet, it's chewy, tender, and juicy are words that come to my mind. The bulgogi was perfectly accompanied by the buttery and earthy mushrooms. Everything was seasoned just right. For dessert, we have the mocha cake served with a scoop of rich vanilla ice cream. To wrap up a somewhat light plant-based menu is the richer mocha cake and creamy ice cream to balance the palate, with hints of caffeine accompanied by a much sweeter taste and strong vanilla aromas of the ice cream. This was a great way to close out the dinner for me. Next on our list, we have Sweetbriar. Located near Flatiron, this upscale but laid-back comfort American cuisine experience is perfect for meetings, after-work hangouts, or just for you to take a break from the hustle and bustle of Midtown. The restaurant has an exciting live fire cooking seating experience where you can get to see how your dish is freshly prepared. I was very fortunate to be able to sit in front and center of this experience. The restaurant has a wood fire oven for pizzas and a charcoal grill, so that was very interesting to see in action. I went to Sweetbriar for a midweek dinner experience, and even though it was in the middle of the week, the restaurant was already jam-packed as you can see here. Everything throughout my dinner was very well seasoned, and the starter was no exception. I had rigatoni with broccoli rabe, rosemary, sausage and egg. The rigatoni was chewy and was perfectly seasoned with the richer, hearty sauce signified by the egg yolks. The broccoli rabe definitely adds a fresher and lighter taste that counters the somewhat richer flavors of the sauce. For the main dish, I had the salmon miquit. If you haven't figured it out already, one of my favorite proteins is definitely seafood, and more specifically, salmon. So when I see salmon on the menu, I had to order. Everything about the flavor profile of this dish is rich and fresh. The vegetables is perfectly cooked to complement the soft and buttery salmon. The creme fraiche dressing was flavored just right to create a creamy yet not overwhelming texture to accompany the protein. And finally, for dessert, we have the grilled pear pizzette. It is a very rich grilled pear pizzette served with almond and thyme gelato. This dish is very rich and sweet, which again I am definitely a fan of. The crusty texture of the pizzette was perfectly balanced out by the more light minty thyme gelato. Next up on our list, we have Asian fusion cuisine. Piggyback is created by the creators of Pig and Cow, famous for their well-seasoned Pan-Asian inspired dishes. Located at walking distance from the Penn Station with views of Hudson Yards, this small but mighty hangout is perfect for business folks who wants to take a brief brunch break and hang out. The amazing and casual service also elevates the street food inspired dining experience here. I decided to come to Piggyback for a brief lunch break during restaurant week. So for the lunch refix experience, I had two dishes, the first one being the starter, and I chose the lumpia Shanghai. Lumpia is of traditional Filipino cuisine. The fried spring rolls is filled with spiced fried beef and pork, served with traditional sweet chili sauce. The dish is very rich in texture with a combination of generous herbs and spices. The rice paper rolls is fried just right for a crunchy and starchy flavor but never burnt. The dish really lives up to expectations. For the main course, I had the mushroom dan dan. If there's anything I love about most Asian cuisines, it's noodles. Any types of noodles. So when I see the mushroom dan dan menu, I know I must order it. The wheat noodles based dish is topped with peanuts, scallion, lime, and chili sauce. It is definitely the right combination of rich flavors. The sauce is spicy, savory, and nutty. The scallion and lime combo creates an aromatic flavor to complement the richer undertones of the sauce. After having tried Spanish fusion at the Spanish diner, I know I had to explore this cuisine more, and so next up on my restaurant week roster is Socarrat, a low-key Spanish bar in Chelsea, famous for their tapas and paella. For starters, I had the gambas al ajillo, which is sizzling shrimp served over olive oil, garlic, and guindilla pepper. The garlic and olive oil definitely adds a depth of flavor that complements the shrimp. The sizzling heat of the pan that allows for the shrimp to be cooked evenly but not overly done, resulting in tender, savory, and juicy taste profile. For the main course, I had the paella arroz negro. As Socarrat is famous for their paella's offerings, I figured for the main course I should probably try my first paella ever here. Paella comes from the name of the cooking utensil, which is the special flat round pan used in this dish. Traditionally, the paella is cooked over wood fire and you eat directly from the pan as well. The paella arroz negro I'm having tonight features shrimp, calamari, whitefish, scallops, piquillo, peppers, and squid ink sofrito as its base. The restaurant manager also comes over to let me know how to correctly eat the dish, which is using a utensil to scrape on the bottom of the rice to get all of that flavor while mixing it up with the additional side of hot sauce to maximize the flavorful profile. For dessert, of course, we're going to go with the traditional classic Spanish flan. I have no additional notes outside of this was the perfect way to wrap up my Spanish dinner experience. Thought I'd introduce some classic sushi into my restaurant week lineup here. So Natsumi is actually very close to some of my favorite spots in Midtown, conveniently located at walking distance from Times Square. The crowds are usually Broadway show audiences for both the pre-theater and post-theater sushi dinner, so I'm here just for some good old sushi delicacy. For my dinner prefix experience, for starters, I had the fish tacos. These consist of fried salmon covered in spicy aioli. The dish is very fresh and flavorful, although I did hope for it to have more sauce. Right now, the components feel a little bit separate from one another. For the main dish, I had the sashimi and wolf roll. I had a traditional assortment of tuna and salmon sashimi and a roll. The roll was very spicy tuna, white tuna, and tobiko. And wrapping up the filling dinner, we have the classic mango sorbet. I always love having a more citrusy fruit or dish for dessert after a filling dinner, just to kind of counterbalance the rich content of the other courses. So that is it. Those are the 10 best restaurant week picks for me in New York. Let me know what you guys think. Is that if you guys agree or if you guys don't agree, what are your thoughts? And if you find this content helpful or interesting, definitely hit the subscribe button. I can't thank you enough. I will be posting a lot of these photos from Restaurant Week on my Instagram, so also check it out on there. And until next time, bye!